Hey everybody, Jbozz here from Jbozz Gaming. Wanted to make a video today kind of sharing with you, a request. I want to make a request to you all um, because, I want to make sure that I continue to focus on what is helpful for you. Um, as you all know or should know, Gunner Jbozz live stream and the Jbozz Gaming YouTube channel were created for new players that either are coming into World of Tanks console or for players that want to get better at the game. And so there was a mad rush for me to kind of brain dump a lot of things that I was sharing with my clans into videos and get them up and posted on YouTube right away. And I think I've done most of that. There's still things that I'm constantly trying to produce. But let me say that I am not a professional YouTuber. I'm not a professional Twitch streamer. In fact, neither one of these platforms make me any money, nor do I care if they ever do make money. It would be nice to get donations, and any money that I do get will just be turned back into channel content. So it's not like I'm trying to make a living off of YouTube or Twitch. I am a 26-year IT professional, and that's what I do for a living. So I don't want to be a YouTuber or Twitcher for life. It's been fun. I've learned a tremendous amount in the last 2 or 3 months. I didn't know anything about how to do YouTube, how to create YouTube videos or edit videos or any of that before I started the YouTube channel. I didn't know how to stream on Twitch. I didn't know the software that you needed to create these live streams. I mean, I started from scratch on all of this, and in a few short months, I'm beginning to just get my toe in the water, so to speak, and don't claim to be a professional at any of it. And I'm still continuing to learn. But what I do know is I need your feedback. I need your feedback on content that you would like to see, because your perspective is unique and I can't replicate your perspective. I can only ask you for feedback from your perspective. And I get it. Sometimes you don't know what you don't know. You don't know what to ask. So I'm trying to ask you to think about World of Tanks console and what has been a challenge for you, what has caused you frustration or grief, what would have been helpful if you can think back to, if you've got a little bit of experience, you can think back when you first started. What was that first video that really helped you turn on some lights and make your experience at least less frustrating or a little more productive, or whatever it was that you can kind of think back and consider was helpful, right? I would like to hear from you all and get ideas and suggestions about what I need to focus on for folks that are trying to either learn to play World of Tanks console or are trying to get better at World of Tanks console. And so that's my first request, and that's the primary purpose of this video. That's why I'm not in gunner gear. That's why I am not trying to put on a persona. This is just Jbozz reaching out to you guys and asking you for your feedback, both on the YouTube channel, and also if you can stop by on the Twitch and interact with me on the live stream, that's great too. Either one is fine. I just need the feedback and would love to have the feedback so that I can continue to prioritize what you guys would like me to focus on versus what I already have a list to produce. Now, with that being said, let me share some of the future content that I am working on for the YouTube channel that will be ultimately shared on the Gunner Jbozz live stream. Future content for the YouTube video are continued general map strategies. I do see map strategies, though, evolving into 2 other layers in the future. Right now, I'm just doing general, right? This is like you want to have a general sense of how the map is played, how you can have success on that, and where the general classified categories of tanks go on the map, right? The next layer of map strategies, and actually, I've completed all map strategies that are tier 4 and below. So the next big category is 5 through 8, and I'm working on those slowly. But I'm trying to get those out. Certainly the new, not new, the maps that Wargaming brings back into fashion. I've been trying to do map strategies for those, so that I know they're new for some folks, and so I'm trying to get those map strategies out quicker than some of the existing maps they may have already been playing on. But I will go back and do all of them. So this is one layer, is doing all of the maps as a general map strategy. But then the second layer or component of the map strategies approach that I'm going to take is I'm going to go into detail about where do, for example, light tanks go on this map, and really run the map with a light tank, showing where and how light tanks play the map, and then talk about how that evolves and changes over the, I guess, tiers that you might find that map in. So not every map plays the same. That's why the general map strategies are good, but they're not ideal, because the map evolves and changes, not physically, it's always the same, but how you play the map evolves and changes based on the tiers of the tanks potentially. So I need to give it more dynamic, strategic perspective, and I need to give you the information of how to play these maps with different tiers of tanks. And so I'll break that down by doing that with the different classes of tanks. So, let's say, I'll just pick one. Let's say mines. We'll start with mines, and I'll do how do you play mines on with a light tank. And then I will also, in that same video, talk about the different tiers, and I might group the tiers, well, if you're tiers 1 through 3, this is how it plays. If you're tiers 4 through 5, this is how it plays. Or here's how you generally play the map. And if you're tiers, 9 and 10, God help you, you might as well stay in the back, because you're going to get your ass shot anywhere you move, because everybody can see everybody, because that's a small map. I'm just kidding. But that's an example, a quick example of how a map can really change based on the tiers of the tank that you're playing and the type of tank that you're playing. So map strategies are nice, and I know that I've gotten a lot of feedback that you're enjoying those. They're very helpful, and they are, but you got to understand there's another layer to the game, and I'm trying to get that layer out to you as well. So we'll get there. And then of course the third and final kind of layer is a very specific map strategy for a given tank. So, and this will come, obviously, because that might mean, not only does that mean there's just lots of videos to do, but it might need to be prioritized based on the tanks that you guys want to see. So I don't want to just start down the American tech tree and say, oh, here's a map strategy for, and I'll just pick an American tank, whatever it is, the T-67, and you guys aren't playing the T-67. You're playing, the T-56, and you want a map strategy for how to play the T-56 on all these maps, right? So that will have to be a prioritized, very catered list, and that will also have to take some time, because obviously the more detailed and more specific we get, the less it applies to the general masses. So, but that is where I'm going with map strategies. The other thing that I want to continue down is we've got a basic playlist out there that basically is mostly navigation and just explaining what everything in the game means. And then we move on to becoming a better player, or I forget what I named it, but it's basically intermediate is what I think of it as. It's just, here's some concepts that you need to understand to be a better player in World of Tanks. The third playlist that I'll introduce as far as World of Tanks play will be more advanced. And we'll talk about concepts like stats, and we'll drill into things about what it means to be Super Unicom. How do you do that? How do you get there? What's the formula? Well, I will give you the formula. I'm going to tell you, I will give you a very specific guide that you will not find anywhere else on YouTube because I've looked, but I'm going to give you a very specific formula of how to become a Super Unicom player. Now, what does that mean? Well, that means that anybody can really become Super Unicom. That means that they have to achieve a certain statistical number in order to, be considered in that category. That doesn't mean you're the best player in the world. It simply means statistically you are Super Unicom, and that's what your stats will reflect. Now, that's why I kind of joke around about being Super Unicom. I call it Super Duper Unicorn on the Jbozz live stream, and we make videos and jokes about it, right? Because a lot of these folks that are Super Unicom aren't the best players in the game. Now, some of them that are Super Unicom are very good and really understand the game, have taken the game to the next level, and they are very, very good players. And there's a difference between those folks and the people that still have the purple on their stats, okay? So I'm gonna expose some folks, and that probably is gonna result in some resentment. Some other YouTubers may not like that. And I don't care because the bottom line is I don't care how good you are. You can be the best in the game, but you die. You get killed, and that's part of the game. A lot of these folks, and there's been other YouTubers that do this, they'll do game footage and they'll clip it up, they'll cut it up and make them look like they're a genius about how they played that match. And honestly, some of it was just flat out luck. It's how the enemy decided to go, and they just happened to be in the right spot at the time. And some of it is skill, where they put themselves in the right spot to be there when the enemy made the mistake that they did, right? So there's a blend, but there's a real difference and a real distinction between great players and those players that are good, but just aren't the greatest in the game. So I'll show you how to improve your stats. If that's important to you, I'll share my opinion about stats and what I think are important. And to me, I don't mind sharing that right now. The number one thing that's important in World of Tanks is winning. Is winning with your team. And that's something that sometimes is contradictory when it comes to stats. Sometimes wargaming basically rewards people for not playing together. And I'll expose that as well. And we'll talk about that. These are all great conversations that we can have as a community. And really just, if we don't want them changed, that's one thing. If we do, then we can advocate for the change. But if not, we can at least have the understanding that that is the way it is. And no one should be ridiculed because they have that understanding. So I'm going to be transparent, and I'm going to share with you 8 years of World of Tank console experience. I'm going to share with you Super Unicom knowledge, and I'm going to share with you how to get better in this game. Now, I say that like it's easy, like it's simple, and if you just listen to me, all the world will be great and wonderful. Well, that's not the case. In fact, just knowing over the 8 years that I played this game, very few people really even listen to someone that's more experienced. They think they've got it figured out and don't really learn from others. In fact, they don't even play with others, and that's a whole nother video conversation about why we don't use our mics to communicate anymore. But that's the direction of the YouTube channel, is starting to expose all of that to you so that you can be better informed about why these clans create these ridiculous requirements to enter their clans, and what's a competitive clan versus what's a social clan, and all of that. We'll have to talk about stats to really talk about some of the requests, some of the ridiculous requests, I believe, that clans make. And some of these folks don't even understand stats themselves, and they make these requests because they think they mean one thing, when in all truth and honesty and transparency, they mean quite the opposite of what they think the stats actually reflect. And so we're gonna get into that. We're gonna talk about in-depth stats and so on. But that's a whole nother advanced playlist. And if you don't want that kind of content, if you don't need that kind of content, and you're just playing the game to get better at it, to get good at it, and just enjoy, from your perspective, the tanks that you've acquired, you don't have to go to that playlist. You don't have to listen to me dribble on about formulas or stats or particular spots that Unicom players know about and other players don't. You don't have to listen to all that. You can stay with the intermediate playlist, and I'll continue to update you on tactics and things that you should know as an intermediate, or what I consider a good player, and still be successful at World of Tanks. So you don't have to view all of my videos on my channel to be good. You can select certain videos and read and listen to what you think you need to hear. And of course, if there's something that I haven't done that you'd like to see me cover, that's what this first part of this video is about, is just getting your feedback and letting me know. I've tried to logically put things together so that, but it's only makes sense from my perspective. It may not make sense from your perspective. So giving me that feedback is helpful. And just know that I do listen to other people. I am not the best at this game. I'm always getting better, and I always want to improve. It's what I love about this game. It's kind of like golf. You're never perfect, right? You're never there. You're always trying to get better, and that's the challenge of this game, and that's what I like about this game specifically. So, without further ramblings and gibberish, I will conclude this video in simply saying that I do wish you good luck on the battlefield, and I do wish you a harmonious tank experience, and I do hope that one day we can see this game flourish before it finally dies. Thanks again for watching this video, and thanks again if you do hit the like button, and really appreciate those that have subscribed, and I appreciate if you do subscribe. And of course, you can hit the bell button to get notification when I do one of these other diatribes that I throw up on YouTube in the future. I really appreciate everybody that's followed the channel and everybody that's trying to make the community a stronger place and a happier place to be. Good luck out there, tankers. We'll see you in the next one.